Okay, good Daf everyone, and welcome back as we start the second daf on this wonderful Matzai Shabbos, and we welcome in Michal just joining us, and we just had Kenny joining us as well, as we're about to start our second blot. Tonight's shir is being dedicated, first of all, by A.B. Spry with the tefillah that all those that are awaiting to get their children into yeshiva should do it smoothly, happily. It should be a pleasant experience, and children should get into yeshiva without heartache. The shir tonight is also dedicated by Yitzi Muller in honor of his 25th anniversary to his wife Chaya, and we wish that the two of them should have gesund, parnasa, nachas, and everything wonderful. We also are learning, if you see your screens, you will see the Kiddush Shem Shemayim that Aaron Swade is joining us from a hospital room. Aaron has had trouble breathing, he has water, and he has a little bit of a heart problem, which he's going to need a procedure on Monday. And they are draining the water from him, so we're awed by Aaron, by your dedication, that with oxygen in your nose and having trouble breathing, you're still joining us in our learning. We're honored to have you. We also want to wish you, all of us, all your chaverim, that you should have a refuah shalema b'seich shachar Yisrael. You should breathe easier every minute and get home safely and quickly. We start the new parak as we welcome in Avram Shenkman joining us. Avram, it's great to have you. As we start the new parak, Lamed Beis. Lamed Beis, of course, is a very great daf. Leiv is what it's all about. Rachmana liba boy. The Rebbeinu Shalom wants our hearts. That's, it's heart is always a very, very important ingredient. Whether it's in our behavior with our wives, there should be lots of heart. Whether it's in our davening to the Rebbeinu Shalom, there should be lots of heart. Whether it's in the doing of our mitzvahs, there should be lots of heart. And Rabbi say, speaking of heart, guess who's coming to dinner? As we welcome in, you know who, a man full of heart, Marshall Castle. Marshall, you're just in time for the second blot as we start the new parak. And Avram Shenkman, it's good to see your grandchild with us. It's a pleasure to have him. Hi there. It's wonderful to have you. And
you didn't wait for me.
Okay, and look at that. He speaks English.
No, wait for me. What's the problem here?
Okay, Rabbi say that's an example of that there is all kinds of humans in this world. Aaron, you see Marshall, it's got to make you feel better. Got to make you feel better. Just
Aaron, good to see you.
Just to see Marshall. You see Marshall, it could be worse when you see Marshall. Anyway, okay, new Mishnah. Hasheleach get leishtay. If, let's say, Chatzkel sends a get to his wife, and then he says, am I crazy? V'yigia b'shliach, and he overtakes the shliach, and he cancels it. Or sheshalach acharav shliach, or he sends a shliach to overtake the shliach, v'amalei, and he says, or the shliach says, get shenasati lach, the get that I gave you, batalu. It should be canceled. How is that batal? It's canceled. Now, let's say he can't overtake the shliach because he doesn't know the route that the shliach is going to take. So what does he do? Kidem eitzelishta. He hurries up and gets to his wife first. Or he sends a speedy messenger to his wife first. Va'amalah, and he says to her, get sheshalachti lach, the get that's on the way, batalu, it's cancelled. How is that batal? But im shigia get liyada, but once the get reaches her hand, too late. Shaveni yachalavatla, can't cancel anymore. He could try to remarry her, but she might say, you know what? See ya. Barishaina, initially there was another way to do it. Initially, we would allow him to make a bezdin in another place and say in front of the bezdin, and be mavatal it. However, that had danger written all over it. Because he might make a bezdin, the shliach won't know, he'll bring the get to the wife, they won't know, she'll remarry and have mamzerim. Hisker Reb Gamliel Azakin, so Reb Gamliel the elder said, sorry, you have to do it either to the shliach that's bringing the get or to the wife. You can't make a private bezdin and cancel it because he'll cancel it and then the wife won't know and she'll remarry and make mamzerim. Now, it says higia. Now higia means he bumped into the shliach. If it meant he went after him, it would say higiyoi. He overtook him. Higiyoi like Ketani el higiya v'afilam mamela. Even if he bumps into him and it cancels it. V'lei amrina, we don't say litzura de bekavin. He's just trying to annoy her. He's just trying to stress her. Because if he really wanted to cancel it, he would have went after him. So, Kamash Malon, we don't say that. Or he sent a messenger to cancel it. I might say that a messenger can't cancel a messenger. If he wants to cancel a messenger, he has to go himself. Mao the same. I might think if he sends a shliach to cancel the shliach, that's not good enough. Because who says that one shliach could cancel the other shliach? Maybe he has to go and cancel it himself. Kamash Malon, that you could do that. Kidem hu eitzel ishtoi lamali. Why do we need the case where he goes to the wife? Mao the same that he's just want to annoy her. That's hanimil the shliach when he cancels the shliach. Avalidida, but her, I might say, he just wants to aggravate her. Vaday litzura kamachavein. Kamash Malon. No, he said it should be canceled. It's canceled. Oy shisholach etzla shliach lamali. Mao the same. No, maybe he wouldn't go and trouble himself just to aggravate her, but maybe he would send the shliach to aggravate her. He won't go all the way there to aggravate her. He doesn't care if the shliach is a real nice guy. He doesn't care if the shliach has some trouble. Maybe he's just doing it to annoy her. Kamash Malan, that we say if he cancels it, it's canceled. Get liyada, but once the get reaches her, it can't be cancelled anymore. So the Gemara says, duh, pshita. Of course, if it got to her, it can't be cancelled. Says the Gemara, well, I might say that since we see him going through all the trouble, and he's running all around to look for the shliach, we see he's going through such trouble to cancel it. Since he went through all that trouble, we should say that maybe it's canceled. Kamash Malan, no. He has to overtake the shliach or get to the wife. If he doesn't do that, it's not canceled. And Rabbi said, I should tell you that our good Chaver Adaf, Rafal Greenspan, has joined us. Rafal, it's good to see you. Rafal has been lost in action. He probably forgot our coordinates, zoom.com with my phone number, or zoomdaf.com. But Rafal, we look forward to being reunited with you on our Zoom family, 28 strong here this evening, although it got off to a slow start. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'akol niyeh b'dvaro.
I didn't understand this notion of aggravating her in this case.
Well, we don't say it. So the Gemara says it's no good.
How is he aggravating?
He's aggravating her because she's awaiting to get. And now he's needling her. Oh, I'm canceling it.
Aggravating her?
Yeah.
How would she cancel?
Now, Rabbi say we are holding 9 lines from the bottom at the 2 dots on Daf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph. Now the Gemara says, Tan Rabbanan Batalu, if he says it's canceled, if shibai, I don't want it, Dvar of Kayam. Puzzle, if he says the get is puzzle, ain't a get or it's not a get, lo yamaklum. That's not the way to cancel it. It's not true. It isn't puzzle, and it's not true that it's not a get. If he says it should be negated, or if he says I don't want it, that's a good way to mevatel it. But to say that it's puzzle, it's like saying that it's a dog. Saying it's a dog, or calling it a marshal. That doesn't cancel it. It's not a marshal.
Hey!
What?
I didn't tune out for this abuse.
Oh, you came already? I didn't even know you were here yet. He's around. Wow.
Where are your friends when you need them? I don't get it.
Says the Gemara, they're laughing. Look at Aaron. He's having a good time. Finally, we're getting him into a good mood. Now,
Yeah, it's because they got nitrous oxide hooked to his nose.
So now the question is, why is bottle good? Really, he needs to say that it should be bottle. So l'meimra de bottle lishna de liftel mashma, that it should be negated. Now, here's an interesting situation. Marshall owes Mark money. That's why Mark came back to get it, right? So Marshall owes Mark money. And of course, Marshall says he has nothing. That's the... Shelley gives Marshall $1,000 gift card to Amazon. So Mark wants it. Okay? So what does Marshall say? I don't accept it. Because he says, Shelley, are you stupid? You're giving it to me now? Now Mark will take it away from me. So he doesn't want to accept it, because once he accepts it, Mark will get his paws on it. Right? So now let's see. V'amar Rabba bar Eva, Yamar Rav Sheshes. Rabba bar Eva said in the name Rav Sheshes. V'imrei lo Amar Rabba bar Avua, Mikabel Matana. Marshall that's getting a gift, Sha'amar la'acha shabasa matana liyada, that he says after the matana gets into his hand, matana zu muvuteles. This matana is cancelled. Tibatel. If shiba. I don't want it. But it's after he already took it. Lo yamaklum. It's meaningless. That means that Mark can now tell him, fork it over. Betelahi, if when Shelley gives it to him, he says it is canceled. Ain't a matana, it's not a gift. Then Devar of Kayamim, then he never accepted it. And Mark is powerless to pry it away from him. So Alma Batal may occur mashmi. It means from now, not in the future. So how does it work by a get? Remember, by get you have to say it should be canceled. So Amar Abayis, so Abayis says it's a word that has 2 meanings. It's a multifaceted word. Amar Abaya Batal Shtei L'Shonos Mashma. It's a swing word. It could go either way. Mashma de Batal, that it should be cancelled from the get-go, and Mashma de Litftel, it should be cancelled in the future. Gabe get Lishna de Mahanmi Beikama. So the husband says, let it be cancelled. Gabi matana lishnad mani bakamet. I don't want it at all. It's canceled from the beginning. Amar Abaya. So, Shelley, you don't have to feel bad. You get to keep the $1,000 Amazon card. We feel for Mark, but Mark deserves it. What was he going lending money to Marshall in the first place? Amar Abaya. Amar Abaya. That's another question. Why Shelley was giving a gift to Marshall? He likes his chili. That's why. All right.
He loves my chili.
Yeah. That's it. I knew it wasn't you. Amar Abaya, he opens his mouth so wide for the shoe. Amar Abaya. You know, Rabbi said, everybody knows that we love Marshall. Everybody knows it. Amar Abaya. Nakatinon. We have a tradition. Shliach matana harihu k'shliach haget. The shliach of a gift is like the shliach of a get, which means that if Shelley sends the $1,000 Amazon card with AB to Marshall, and then he says, "What am I nuts? A plate of chili is $3.50. What am I giving him a $1,000 card for?" Right? So he sends AB to overtake him. If AB overtakes him, then the shlichus is batal. Says the Gemara, what's the chiddush in that? The chiddush is that when Shelley gives the card to AB to bring it to Marshall, haylech lav kizachi dami. In other words, AB can't be right there zeichen it for Marshall. It's only Marshall's when it gets to his hand. So therefore, Shelley could cancel it until he gets, or he could do it the other way. He could run to Marshall and tell Marshall, "I'm canceling the gift," and that also works. You should know that while I'm talking, Marshall is figuring out how many Romanian frankfurters you could buy with a $1,000 Amazon card.
With the cost of beef nowadays, 2.
Rabbi said that's the kind of hot dog he eats. Now, Ravina Ashkechei Rav Nachum Bar Yitzchak. Now, here, at first, this sounds a little bit strange, that it tells us about the posture where Rav Nachum Bar Yitzchak was found. Ravina Ashkechei Rav Nachum Bar Yitzchak the Toli V'Koi Be'ibra Dedash. He was reclining against the bar of the door. Now, I'm translating the way Rashi translates over here, the Toli Nishan. Others learn, I remember seeing it elsewhere in Shas, that Toli means that he was hanging from, like they do exercise, hanging from the bar of the door, which would fit in more simple in the Lashon of Toli. But for what purpose does the Gemara tell us this? So we have to understand this is the strength of the Messiah. And sometimes they say, I remember that he said it when he's sitting Akila on this porch. Now, why does the Gemara tell us this? Because, people say things in the name of Ramosha. But it's different if, like I say, a story that I remember while I was sitting on the screened-in porch in Camp Westmount with a yellow bulb on the porch, and we were drinking tea from glasses that were used from yahrzeit candles. So the more details I give of the incident, the more it lends credibility to the incident. Once I bring it up already, it's worthwhile to say what happened is that I was sitting with Ramosha one evening, and the Alter Rebbetzin Zecher Tzadik Levrachas Chusa Yanyan Aleinu served to Ramosha and brought me a tea. And they used, for their glasses, they used remember those big yahrzeit candles. So they didn't throw them away when they were finished. They used them as glasses. And so it was a hot night. I remember rivulets of sweat were on my forehead. And there were gnats. And although it was a screened porch, the gnats were coming through the screens. So quickly after the Rebbetzin brought me the tea, my tea filled up with gnats. And I'm looking in amazement. Rishiva was sitting right across from me, and there wasn't a gnat in his tea. And the Rishiva says to me, drink. So I didn't drink. So he said, drink is good. Drink, it's good. So I showed him. So he looked at it, and he said, He took a spoon, and he fished out all the gnats and pushed it by me. I grabbed it. Now, I'm a squeamish guy. If a fly falls in my soup, I throw out the soup. But, Rishiva pushed it to me. I grabbed it and I drank. It was hot. I drank it very quickly because I knew in a second later it was going to fill up with gnats again. The Gemara says that how did the Isha Shanamis know that Elisha was a great man? Because lo yira zavuv al shulchana. And I saw it. I saw that there wasn't a gnat near Moshe's tea. It was. I still remember it. Rabbi said this is close to 50 years ago. And I still have this vision in front of me. It was in Camp Mount. It's about 50 years ago. I think it was in 1974. So it's about 50 years ago. 49 years ago. Says the Gemara. So, getting back to Ravina Ashkechel, Rav Nachman Yitzchak, the Toli v'koi be'ibra dedasha. He was leaning on the bolt of the door, v'kamebayile batal mao. Instead of saying batal lihave or batal yehei, he just said batal. So do we say it's obviously referring to the get, or since he didn't say the description, maybe it's no good? Take it. Tishbi Ataretz Kushas Ribayis. Amar Rav Sheshes, V'imrei lo b'masnisa tana, Rav Sheshes said, and others talk about Messiah, this is not a statement of Rav Sheshes, but it's actually a Mishnah. Get ze lo yoel, this get shouldn't help. Lo yater, it shouldn't permit. Lo yazov, it should not cause to forsake. Lo yishalach, it should not send away. Lo yagarish, it should not divorce. Yehei cheres, it should be a shard. Yehei kicheres, it should be like a shard. Devorav kayamim. Because he said it in the future. Einay mile, it doesn't help. Einay matter, it doesn't release. Einay maziv, it doesn't forsake. Einay mishalach, it doesn't send away. Einay megarish, it doesn't divorce. Cheresu, it is a cheres. Kecheresu, it's like a cheres. But that's all these things are not true. It is a divorce that helps. So lo yamaklum. Ibayalu. So now the Gemara asks in ambiguous language. Hare hu cheres mao. Behold, it is a cheres. What's the din? Amalei Ravina l'Ravacha b'rei d'Rava v'imri l'Ravacha b'rei d'Rava said l'Ravashi meishna me hari hu hektish, which is a declaration in the future, or hari hu hefker. So here also where he says hari hu cheres, it's a declaration which is effective. After he canceled it, chayzer or megarish by, or einay chayzer or megarish by? Can he use it again or not? Rav Nachman Amar chayzer or megarish by. Rav Nachman says he could use it again. But Rav Sheshes Amar einay chayzer or megarish by. He can't use it again. The hilchasa, when the law is the hilchasa kavasei de Rav Nachman. The law is, as we welcome in Moshe Jacqueline, the Hilchas of Kavasei de Rav Nachman. The law is always good to come even for the last few minutes. I always tell people, I had a mice in a shul in Florida that before Mincha they kept the door locked in the shul. And when I was saying shir, and the reason why they did it is because they didn't want people coming in for mincha and disturbing the drasha. welcome in David Healthcott. They want people coming in. And I said, look, I think the door should be left open. You know, many times I would make the most exciting thing in the shir the last 5 minutes of the shir. So that people that come in a little early for mincha, they'll hear it, and maybe next week they'll say, that was interesting, I'll come for the shir. Or, even if they don't say that, at least they get a 5-minute thought. So anybody that comes in is welcome to come, no matter when.
I've been listening on Coalition.
Ah, good. Excellent. Good place to listen. Says the Gemara, the Hilchasa Kavasi Rav Nachman, that you could use to get again. He canceled it, but you could use it again. So the Gemara is going to ask a question, which the problem will be to figure out what the Havamin is. If a man gives money to a woman and says, you should be mekudeshes to me in 30 days. So the din is, if she wants to back out, she accepts the money. If she wants to back out before the 30 days, she could back out. So the Gemara says, what's the comparison? If she backs out, he could still use that money another time to be Mekadesha. So Achi Ashta, Hasam Dibur v'Dibahu. There, she accepted it, and then she canceled it. Asi Dibur Mavatal Dibur. But over here, even though he canceled, he caught up to the shliach and said, I don't want to divorce her. Gita Gufe Mika Batal. Is the get canceled? The get isn't canceled. It's still a good instrument. If he wants to use it again, he can use it again. And that's the halacha, that if he wants to divorce her with it again, of course, if it's a different date, it might be a problem, because then it could be a get yashin, and that's no good. But if he wants to, still in the same day, he wants to give it to her, so then he could give it to her. Okay, we're going to stop over here, Rabbi. So this was wow, we did it in an hour. Actually 55 minutes, 2 blot in 55 minutes, that's a record. As we get ready to learn the Mishnah Yomis now, as we welcome in Nachum Rosenman,